You're listening to The Real Fan Review with Hav, Sanj, Al, and B.
What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? This is Hav here, one of your hosts from The Real Fan Review. With me today, we got my boy Sanj is back.
Hello, everybody. As always, it's a pleasure to be with you. I missed you guys.
We missed you, man. We got our man in the chair, Al.
Going, buddy.
And we got my brother B, maybe showing up. We're not sure yet. Said he had Wi-Fi issues, so we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, man. So we're back today, and listen, we're going to be talking movies as usual. We're going to be talking about Extraction Part 2. We're going to be talking about WB's Superman possibly coming back on. Also, there's this new Justice League movie that's animated that everyone's talking about, so we'll just get into something that. And Mother's Day just passed, so we'll talk about some things with moms and movies, and we'll go from there, man. But first, let's talk about Taika Watiti directing. Oh, we got Brandon in here.
All right.
There we go.
Well, hello.
And we got my brother B.
As to quote Jazz from Transformers the movie, what's cracking little bitches?
Oh, man. So listen, B, we're about to get into all this stuff. I just let everybody know what we're going to talk about today. So listen, first thing up is Taika Watiti is directing and writing. He's one of the writers there. Another writer from 1917 is going to be writing with him this new Star Wars. They didn't say if it's going to be like part of this brand new vision or if it's going to be something that deals with what we've already seen. But what do you guys think? I mean, Al, you are a Star Wars aficionado. I mean, Taika Waititi, just his skills as a director. You've seen his work with Thor Ragnarok. Sanj talks about Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it, especially since I don't think it's going to deal with anything we've seen before because from what I understand, after Rise of Skywalker, they're done with Skywalker. So this is going to be something completely new. But I would like to see, and because I never got to play the game, but I keep hearing nothing but positive things about it, is Knights of the Old Republic, which is dealing with Jedi way back. So I'd love to see that. Not that they're doing like a prequel or anything along those lines, but more just giving the story, the backdrop, kind of like what they did when they did episodes 1, 2, 3. They gave you the backstory to 4, 5, 6. Well, this will be the backstory to everything. Right. So I'd like to see that, maybe help them explain that Sith world that we saw Emperor on in Rise of the Skywalker, because they had always been saying that the Sith came in 2. Well, why was there like a whole bunch of zealots in this
2
one?
billion.
Exactly, yeah. So, and to have somebody at his level who's shown that he can take a franchise movie type deal, like he did with Thor, and do it justice while still doing his own spin on it. I'm welcome to see what he can do and what he can bring.
Yeah, man, I got you, man. And Sanj, man, I know you said lately you've been liking Star Wars a little bit, or getting excited at least for Star Wars as well, because since the podcast we talk about it.
Mandalorian got me. I mean, Mandalorian was just incredible the way they did that part of the Star Wars story. So that got me real excited and really, more interested in Star Wars. And Taika Waititi, I just feel he's got such a range of things that he's done recently and done well, that he just has that knack for cinema, So you can basically give him. I feel like you can give him anything to do, and just take it to the bank. Like put Taika Waititi's name on it and take it to the bank, even before they even cast the thing. So I'm excited about that too, because at the end of the day, regardless of what franchise it is, I want to see a great product. And I think he's going to deliver an immaculate product.
Absolutely, man. I agree with you, man. Because if he could make Hitler funny, I think he could do anything. So,
you know what's funny? It's like Mo told me about Jojo Rabbit, and I had passed over Jojo Rabbit a few times because of the fact that it dealt with Hitler. And
me too.
I read like that they had put a more whimsical spin on like Hitler and stuff like that, and I'm like, I'm not there for that. Like, I get freedom of expression and everything, but I wasn't really there for that. But then when Mo told me, he's like, no, look at it, and you'll be happy that you did. And it was incredible. It was incredible. It wasn't like glorifying Hitler at all or anything like, which is what I was afraid of, or so.
I got you, man. And Brandon, man, I know you're a fan of Jojo Rabbit as well.
Yeah, blindsided by that. That was a great movie.
And then hearing now that Taika Waititi is going to be directing and like writing with someone else, the maker of 1917, which you weren't too crazy about, but
that could mean that we're in for some really gorgeous landscape, and possibly really gorgeous storytelling that may be among the same scene. But I think with Taika Waititi is you're looking at, like Sanjay said, a film already is going to have a great story to it, and it's going to have a great breadth to it. And if you're having the guy from 1917, you're also looking at a story that may have some really gorgeous settings and scenes and backdrop, and the flow of where that may go. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the recent concept art of what was going to be episode 9, but seeing that Taika Waititi kind of has like almost that same vision. I'm expecting a Star Wars that has a brand new story, a fresh story, and is going to be incredibly entertaining, regardless of Jedi.
Gotcha, man. Yeah, I mean, I guess my only one fear with Taika Waititi is something I've noticed in a lot of his movies is the humor in all his movies. You know what I mean? So even the movies before all of this, before Thor Ragnarok, and before Jojo Rabbit and everything, it was a lot of the humor that he has in the movies. Not that I don't want humor in a Star Wars movie, because you got to have a little bit of humor in there. It's I just wanted to make sure that it's not like a jokey Star Wars. I want it to be something serious, something cool and interesting, something we haven't seen before. But at the same time, I guess it'll have its own flavor if, it does have a little bit of humor in there.
I would say, to be honest, a great movie to see his versatility with that is Jojo Rabbit. Because as funny as Jojo Rabbit looks, with some of the Hitler scenes that it has, there is a really big maturity with it that comes with the story and how the story develops. It's a great story that isn't always humorous. Gotcha. There's a lot to it, and his way of telling that story is great.
Gotcha, man. All right, man. Well, listen, we're all looking forward to it. Of course, when that movie comes out, whatever it's called, whatever part of history of Star Wars is going to be, we're there for it for sure. So this is to our next thing, which is Extraction 2 is in the works. I know me, B, and Al, we talked about it maybe about 2 podcasts ago about Extraction. All kind of loved it. I'm not sure, San, did you get a chance to see Extraction on Netflix, or did you kind of miss that one just so far?
I did not get a chance to see Extraction.
All right, no problem, man. Well, it's on Netflix, man, and it was really actually really great, and just supreme action, just action. But we were talking about the ending. There's like a little kind of a mysterious ending. We won't ruin it for Sanj or anything like that. But now that you hear there's a part 2 in the works, of course, they could go forward in time. They could also show how it all started as well. So knowing that they're working on Extraction 2, Joe Russo is going to be writing it again. You guys looking forward to Extraction 2?
Yeah. I thought the first one was great. It had a great story, great amount of action. So I can see where 2 would, pick up on that. It would be really awesome as well to see that.
Yeah, man. Al, man, how about you?
Yeah, no, definitely. And to your point, they can go in either direction, because it looks like there's a good story either way. Like, you can go and give him either another job as a sequel and have him take on another client, or just give his backstory as to what, because you have a whole history of him with other people, other jobs. So you can go into one of the other jobs. There's so much potential there, and it'll be good to see how they do it, which direction they take it in, and what else they do with the scenes. Because the way they choreographed those scenes in that movie was ridiculous.
Yeah, I just need that camera work again.
Oh yeah. So now, to me, what I think is going to happen, they're going to have a bigger budget now, because the first one did so well. So just to see what they can do with that would be crazy. And now other names are going to want to come in, because now they're going to want to be a part of that project. So it'll be interesting to see who they can bring in on this one.
I see Chris Pratt coming in.
Chris Pratt. Yeah, man. Well, let's see, man. I can see more with David Harbour's, character in the movie. I can see a little bit more going on with him as well.
Yeah.
So I personally think more prequel than anything, but maybe you could get one of those movies where you get a little bit of both, So we'll see, man. Then our next thing there that we wanted to talk about today was there was a report going on that WB is actually thinking about working on a new Superman movie. They were trying to work on a Supergirl movie, and they kind of put that to the back burner and said, you know what, let's bring Henry Cavill back and try to make a Superman Part 2 or a Superman movie, period. And I don't know, I'm all in for Superman. I mean, I don't see why you can't have both. Big movie studios, let's make some money. But at the same time, they're talking Superman. So Sanj, I mean, you looking forward to us Henry Cavill coming back?
Yeah, I am looking forward to Henry Cavill coming back as Superman because I think ever since Christopher Reeve, he's been the best looking Superman, as far as the look of it. They took his Superman a little bit darker than they usually do with Superman. So I like the consistency there as opposed to trying to bring somebody back because they didn't really he got 2 movies of his own. And then you had a couple of other movies as well.
Right, because you had the Superman Returns, or was it Man of Steel?
Yeah, Man of Steel.
Superman versus Batman.
Superman versus Batman,
and then Justice League.
So he only got 3 movies with it.
Well, let's not forget that his chest showed up in Shazam.
Yes, that like just disrespectful chest. No, I mean I like him as Superman. He brings some edge to the character. And I'd like to see him continue. So that's a good thing.
Absolutely, man. And Al, man, I know you're a big fan of Superman. There anything that you want to see if they do make the Superman come back, or you just want to see just another good Superman movie?
Well, I'm glad I was reading into the whole story behind why they decided to bring him back, and it actually kind of makes sense. Was somebody finally woke up? If they were going to do Supergirl, the whole story with Supergirl was that she was sent to watch over Superman and make sure he was safe and guide him and so forth. How do you introduce, and then the premise of the story that they were going to go with was kind of like with Captain Marvel, where it was back in time. So how would they have explained her being in this universe without having come to help him in Man of Steel, without helping him in Superman v Batman, and then let alone Justice League? We can't do a Supergirl without rebooting everything we've done so far.
Well,
and then on top of that,
they could have, because part of the story is that she got caught in the Phantom Zone. So even though even though at the time they both left Krypton, she was older than Kal-El, right? That she got stuck in the Phantom Zone and came out because time and space work differently there. Right? And when she came out, she was still the same age, and he's an adult. So that could make perfect sense still, where she shows up on Earth as a child, and he's already
after the fact. He's already done all this stuff.
And,
but they would have to do that. Yeah, they'd have to do that then on a new story, because their whole story was that it was going to be the 70s here, and she was here. That was the script they were working with.
Oh, okay.
So I think they just realized, wait, we can't do that. Let's just. Right. Plus, I heard that The Rock got involved and basically said, if you don't, because Henry Cavill is, I think, represented, from what this article was saying, is represented by Rock's ex-wife. So The Rock was basically saying, yo, if you don't bring him back, not only is he going to Marvel, so am I, and no more Black Adam.
No, because the interesting thing with The Rock and his ex-wife, even though they're no longer married, they're still business partners in the sense that they still do a lot of business together.
That's awesome.
And everything.
That's awesome. It's always good to hear stories like that.
They have kids together and everything. So,
wow.
But in terms of the story,
because that's his money too. Yeah. When she makes money, he makes money too, because she represents him and stuff like that. So yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, but it'd be great to have him back, man. Superman Beyond.
Oh, I would love to see him back, man. Brandon, man, you know a lot about these villains, man. Any villains popping up for this story, Brandon?
Brainiac.
Dude, you're not the first person that said that. I've heard people, they want Brainiac.
It hasn't really been done well,
I want Mr. Plex.
Well, that's never going to happen. So I gotta say his name backwards. I mean, like it only really makes sense. Brainiac is Krypton's supercomputer. Like he is, other than General Zod, he is the other villain with Lex Luthor. If you're looking for someone who is going to be more grander of a villain, look no further than Brainiac.
Gotcha. I mean, me personally, man, I just want them also to kind of like not give up on the Legion of Doom there. When they hit us off with, Lex Luthor talking to Deathstroke, you can't leave that like that, man. Like, you just can't leave it. And then you got Cheetah coming in, with Wonder Woman 84 coming up.
Yeah,
so it's just like,
they can't play with our feelings like that.
Yeah, you can't tease like that, man. I want the twins and the monkey, all that.
I think it's the last thing that's gonna happen.
Oh, you say the twins are not making it? Not real enough, WB.
Form of bucket of water.
Why they always turn into janitorial tools? Oh my God, they don't do anything. Oh man. Now speaking of DC, man, there's this lot of people talking about right now is this Justice League Dark Apokolips. Oh, Brandon, really?
Oh, it's so good.
People keep talking about this is the end game of DC. It's an animated movie, but apparently, which I never knew this, and I don't know, I know Brandon knew this, but Al and Sanj, did you know that DC animated movies from Flashpoint till this Justice League Dark Apokolips was like a universe?
Yeah, where you been?
Oh, dude, I didn't know. I thought they were all separate movies. I didn't know they were having their own little animated universe there, that they were all connected. I thought they were just like separate movies. Like,
done so much better at the animated movies.
Oh my God! But I'm hearing this is crazy.
They had one come out, Superman, Red Sun, where it's a reimagining of Superman and Batman and everything. Where and Wonder Woman, where Superman touched down in Russia as opposed to the U.S. And there was even like a Russian Batman. And
but see, is that part of that universe?
I don't know. I think that was a one-off.
It's like a one-off.
What if?
Oh, jeez, it's too confusing.
Because that was its own comic.
So Brandon, man,
since it's a one-off comic back in the day.
Yeah,
gotcha.
It was really.
So Brandon, talk to us. Is this thing everything everyone's making it out to be on the internet there?
It's crazy. Like, let me tell you, like, okay, the way Endgame started with them, like, I got a mission, we're going to go, and then we're going to go stop Thanos, and they go kill Thanos within 5 minutes. That's what happens in the start of Dark Apokolips. Like, it just starts off like, we're doing a thing, it's going to happen, and all of a sudden they go and they do a thing, and it just goes bad, and then here you go, here's the story, and that's 5 minutes in. It's crazy. So, like, the thing about this movie is, like, it builds upon the stories of the Justice League movie that started after Flashpoint. It actually technically does start with Flashpoint. Flashpoint is the start of the New 52, like the comic community that was the continuity. So it takes off of that continuity. So the New 52. From there, it brings in the 2 Justice League movies, the Justice League Dark movie, the 2 Teen Titan movies, the 4 Batman movies that came out, all of them, and the Superman movies, Doomsday, and especially Doomsday. The 2 Superman Doomsday movies that they released. So all of those stories, they all had like plot points in them that all come into this movie. Wow. From the get-go, everything comes together and everything falls apart, and it's basically not as a rip. It is Endgame for DC. Characters die. Crazy shit happens that you just can't believe that it does, and they knew that going into this was the last movie for the New 52, so spared no stops. No one got spared in this. Like, they didn't care how people went out. Like, they just went out. And the story getting to the ending was incredible. It was nuts. And some of it you can see coming. Like, you can see some plot points like, oh, this came up, like, I can see how this is probably going to come up at the end of the movie. So some of it's a little predictable, but the ride getting there is incredible. Holy
Wow. I got you, man. Ow, man. I know. I don't know if you've watched any of these animated DC movies, but are you gonna watch all? What is it? 15, Brandon? 15 movies? You watching
I
all
may have.
15?
15 movies,
Yeah,
yeah.
I may have to, man. I may have to. I watched Flashpoint, but that was about it. So if I know that that's the first one, I may have to start watching everything after that. Get my Netflix subscription going again, where they're mailing me the Blu-rays.
I hear you, man. And Saj, man, I know you watched a couple of these like 15 movies there. You gonna just watch this Apocalypse, or you're gonna start watching all of these here?
I'm gonna take a look and see what the continuity is and the order of it,
Yeah.
and most likely do it in order.
Doing it
I
order?
would say if you don't want to see all of the movies to make it make sense, I would say the most important ones to watch are Justice League 1, Teen Titans 1, and then Superman Doomsday Part 1 and 2. So those four, other than Flashpoint. I mean, Flashpoint, it's not the most important, it's just the one that sets it all off. Justice League 1, obviously, because it starts off this story mostly. Superman Doomsday 1 and 2, and then
Teen Titans on Netflix, right?
Some of them aren't anymore.
Okay.
Gotcha.
The Batman movies are really good, but they really just kind of introduce Damian, and that's really it. So like they're not that important, but Superman Doomsday 1 and 2 are super critical to this story, as well as Justice League 1.
So Brandon, what you're telling me is at the end of this movie, Robin goes into Batman's intercom and goes on your left?
No, that is the farthest from what happens in this movie. It's not a cheerful movie.
Wow.
You don't
DC
get
dark?
assemble. You
Well,
get
DC's always been darker.
you get a
always
shit
darker.
storm of stuff. Let me tell you something. I'm not gonna spoil this movie for you, but understand it does not end happily.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
All
All right, well, you just ended this podcast unhappy.
So it's more Game of Thrones.
Yeah. The whole way through, just getting to the ending. When you get to the ending, you're like, shit, that's it? Like, fuck.
You know what's crazy? I had to like catch myself and think back to last year when I was like, ugh, this ending of Game of Thrones is the worst thing ever.
Sorry, Sanj.
and then came 2020.
We're still going through it. Murder Hornets.
But hey, you mentioned the Murder Hornets. There is encouraging news about the Murder Hornets. I saw a video of a praying mantis. Yo, praying mantis can fuck those things up.
Fuck them up. I saw that video too.
The praying mantises are going to save us. Yo, it just like sat there silent, waited for that murder hornet to pass by, pounced on him, and ate its brains.
Oh my god.
That was crazy. I saw that video. It was crazy.
Oh, it's crazy. Like it just went right for its brains and just ate its whole head.
Didn't let go.
No.
It was just on.
No, it was like if y'all listening out there, look up praying mantis kills murder hornet. Just look it up. It is an incredible video.
Praying mantis versus bitch hornet.
It did make that killer hornet it's bitch.
Oh, man.
Crazy, man. And then listen, that's pretty much it for the news. Very slow week on the news there. So I just wanted to ask the fellas. I know it's been a while since we've seen Sanj for a little bit, so I'll go with Sanj first.
Sorry
man. I
about
don't know.
that, guys.
Nah, don't worry about it, man. Shit comes up, man. But I mean, have you had a chance to watch any movies, anything come out, or anything that you've seen recently in the movies, or like at home when they come out on Redbox or Netflix?
Well, some of those movies that you put down, the Gentleman. I saw Queen and Slim as well. I really liked the Gentleman.
Me too, man.
Yeah,
it was just like on that level of like The Departed.
Mm-hmm.
But I found it better than The Departed.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir. It was so good. At first, I was watching The Gentleman. I was like, "What the fuck am I watching?" And then 15 minutes in, I'm like, "This is fantastic."
it was almost like a It had the feel of a what do you call it? Quentin Tarantino movie with all the dialogue and everything and all the moving parts and everything and how it all kind of comes together at the end when you think that he's going to take the L. Spoiler alert. And then how things work itself out, So, you know,
What a great movie.
That
Would
was
you say
really
that's your
good.
would you guys say that's your top movie of the year so far?
so far.
Me too. Yeah. I don't know. B, same.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Brad is like, no, Sonic.
Sonic was pretty good.
Sonic was up there.
I mean, this movie caught me by surprise because, like you said, like when it started off, I was like, oh, it's one of those movies where you're just like, oh, okay, it's gonna be kind of weird, but it's got a really good cast. And then, like, about half an hour in, when they start getting to the meat of all of it, I'm like, oh.
And I like seeing Hugh Grant in the role that he played.
Yes.
Killed it.
Normally, like Hugh Grant is like the quirky lead in like rom-coms,
Right.
and he's like
Exactly.
awkwardly like attractive and stuff like that. But here that is so far. It
It's
was
so
such a
far from
departure from the roles that you usually see him in, and it was great. It was great. I enjoyed seeing Hugh Grant
Yeah.
in that.
By any
in
chance,
that-
Al, have you got a chance to catch The Gentleman?
No, not yet, but I'm
Ow.
gonna have to now. At
You're
this
gonna
point,
have to
yeah.
now, bro. Dude, you're gonna love it, man. Honestly,
Yeah.
Gentleman's pretty good, man. I was caught
Oh.
off guard with that one. Yeah, man. I mean, I saw The Gentleman. I saw movies in this couple of weeks there. We just kept talking about it and stuff like that. But I ended up catching Bloodshot, like Sanj saw Bloodshot earlier. I remember Sanj was like, "Oh, I thought we were supposed to watch Bloodshot this week." So I did catch Bloodshot, man, and it was all right. It wasn't, I know people were killing it out there, but it was entertaining. Yeah, man.
It was just like
Aisa Gonzalez.
I'm just saying, and that that chess piece there, I could get freaky with that.
you gotta breathe, Sanjay.
Oh, man.
It's kind of
What'd you say, B?
You gotta
Gotta
breathe,
breathe.
Sanjay.
I'm just saying, man. Like I'm into a lot of things.
you know what you use that for?
Like Quagmire over here. Yeah, you ever get freaky with that thing?
giggity.
All right.
Right.
Oh man, Al, you saw Bloodshot too? Or
Yeah,
no?
I caught Bloodshot and The Hunt.
The
So I was
Hunt.
able to
Okay.
catch those movies.
I want to
yeah.
see The Hunt, man. I heard so much about The Hunt, so I just want to see if it's worth all the crap that it went through for like a year.
It's not, man. It's not.
It's weird. It's very weird.
Yeah.
And I mean, not to.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, and for all they cried over what group was being hunted, so to speak,
Mhm.
without realizing, without spoiling anything. That group wins technically, and watching it looks stupid. So it was, to me, it was more insulting to the group that was hunted than it was an insult on the group that was being hunted. And in the movie, in reality, they both look stupid, because it plays off of the extreme of the two groups. So they both look dumb throughout the movie. So it was really just, it's like, to me, it wasn't worth it. Like, it wasn't worth all the criticism, all the complaint. All you did was draw more attention to a movie that had you just let it go to the theater and play out, probably wouldn't have done as well. The main actress, her character is like she could do no wrong. There was nothing that could stop. It was like,
Oh yeah, Betty Gilpin. I don't know. She like played that off like so hard.
yeah, like you would have thought she was a Terminator. Like, come on, forget it.
I hear you, man. Aside, you was gonna say you caught another movie this week or last week?
Not last week. It was just a few weeks ago. I also saw Just Mercy, which had
Yes, Michael B.
Jordan and oh my God, blanking on the actress.
Jamie.
Huh?
Isn't it Jamie in it?
Jamie? Who's
Jamie D. Fox?
No,
No,
Michael B. Jordan, Jamie Foxx, and it also had the actress that plays Captain Marvel.
Brie
Brie
Larson.
Larson.
Yeah, so it was interesting. I mean, great performances by all. Great performance based on a true story. Great performances by all, but it was just interesting to see the two of them together in a movie that wasn't a Marvel movie. So I mean, they're clearly like they're Marvel characters, right? So like this is one of those things where they talk about sometimes actors and actresses are afraid to do comic book movies or certain types of movies because they'll get character type or cast type as that character. Like everyone will just know them as that character,
that person, yeah.
And like you can see that their acting skills are on display, because never at any point was I thinking Killmonger or Captain Marvel at all. Like I mean, and they're clearly the same people that are voicing these characters or bringing these characters to life. So I mean, it was just, you know, their performances in that movie was just incredible as well. And it was just a good movie, to watch.
Awesome, man.
A little heavy, but you gotta have that too.
Absolutely, you gotta have a little mix of everything. How about you, Brandon? Man, caught anything recently besides that Justice League?
I watched The Gentleman, and then I also watched Mortal Kombat Legends: Scorpion's Revenge.
Oh, you gotta tell me about that.
It was interesting. It was a good movie, like just like fun, because you knew it was Mortal Kombat, so it was over the top with the fighting and everything like that. And it was interesting because it was like half rehash of Mortal Kombat 1. Like there are lines that are verbatim from the first movie that are in that movie.
Yeah.
And then like half its own thing about Scorpion, and not so much about the way the first movie went. So like there's things they changed to make it make sense for Scorpion, I would say, but like it was mostly a rehash, like verbatim lines from the first movie, which was pretty cool and interesting at the same time, like to see them being delivered in different ways and such. But it was fun. It was just, I didn't like how a lot of storyline wasn't like wrapped up. Like they kind of threw a lot of Mortal Kombat story at us, but didn't really do so much with it. So it was like, for instance, like I don't want to give too much away, but like, you know, Liu Kang is in it. Like, you know, he was in the first movie, so you have Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and Sonya Blade, you know, and Raiden. So like, you know, they're going to the tournament. It's basically the first movie, but they don't like delve into a lot of the things that even the first movie talked about, like in terms of their characters, like their motivations for why they're here and what they're really doing here, other than like they were selected by Raiden because of these attributes. So like it was very much, this is about Scorpion. There's the way it ends tells you there's going to be a sequel. But there isn't a lot of satisfaction in it. Like you get some really great fights, but when you get to the end of the movie, it doesn't. I mean, I guess I was hoping it followed the path of the first actual movie in the way the fights go there, but it doesn't do that. And the way it explains, it's kind of weird. But they're just like, oh, but don't worry, because they give you some tidbits that say that there's going to be a second one. So it's like, okay, like it's a good movie. Like it's fun if you like Mortal Kombat. You know, it's basically Mortal Kombat in movie form again.
Gotcha.
So I'm waiting to see if they make a sequel, what that looks like. I hope it's just as fun as this one. I just wish they did a little bit more with the story. It was only an hour and 20 minutes, so you couldn't get
a bad rent.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And
man.
it was a live action or is it animated?
It was animated.
Animated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. How about yourself, man? You catch anything recently?
No, just other than the hunt. Oh, Like a Boss. We also caught.
Oh God, dude. How many times did you laugh watching that movie, bro?
Kid, throughout the whole movie. I forgot how good of a comedy Salma Hayek could be. I mean, granted, I went into the movie knowing it was going to be silly, stupid. There was nothing serious to like look out for in the movie. So I guess going in there knowing I wasn't expecting much, like I was able to enjoy the jokes, enjoy the humor that was thrown out there. I knew you were going to get silly lines, and once the silly lines came, I found them funny. Yeah, like I wasn't looking for some major plot. I was just like, all right, what's the story? Let it play out however it plays out. I just want to see. I want to see these actors act because I like all three of them.
Yeah.
So it was funny.
I got you, man. Yeah, man. I saw Like a Boss, so I didn't have as much of a good time as you did with it.
Nah.
But nah, man. But you know what I did catch is this HBO movie called Bad Education with Hugh Jackman, and that's something that you guys. It's not bad, man. Actually, I was really entertained by it, man. It's about what happened in Roslyn School District, where I think it's either the principal and it's the superintendent. Yeah. So you know how they were taking money from the what do they call it, Brandon? The school budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know just how they got caught and all the stuff that happened. It's just insane, man. It was really good, but Hugh Jackman did his thing as an actor. I mean, it was just crazy.
Island accent, holy cow!
Oh, Jesus, the Long Island accent.
Do we have a Long Island accent?
Apparently, we do, and we don't know it, man.
Well, I'm talking about. I know there is supposedly a Long Island accent. Like, do we have it?
I don't know, man. Maybe the fans gotta let us know, man.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think the only thing I've been accused of saying is sandwich, as opposed to sandwich. Like, but I do say I know I do say
Language.
no, I do say sandwich, and I think that's part of the Long Island.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know. When I was down in Florida, they kept making fun of coffee.
Look at
That's,
Brendan's losing it,
That's
dude.
what are you supposed to call it? It's coffee.
no, I think they say yeah, but we say coffee like as if there's a W in there. They say coffee.
Ah,
Coffee.
get the
Coffee.
coffee.
I want a
It's-
coffee.
What?
Yeah.
Coffee.
Whereas we say coffee like there's a W somewhere in the
Yeah,
middle. They say
WFF.
coffee. Let me get a coffee.
Coffee.
But that sounds like Boston to
Coffee?
me. I'm looking for a Wahlberg when I hear it pronounced that way.
Say hello to your mother for me.
How do you mother form you, all right?
I don't know any other way to say coffee.
Yeah, I know, right? Coffee. Crazy, man. All right, man. Well, listen, man. Mother's Day was on Sunday, man. It's the reason why the podcast is a little late there. So we apologize to any of our subscribers and our fans that listen to us. You know, we couldn't do it on a Sunday, man. You want us to survive and do another podcast? Podcast has to be done on a Tuesday, okay?
Facts. Facts.
So listen, guys, we want to just, kind of talk about Mother's Day real quick. And one of the things we like to do on the podcast is, like I said, this podcast is just us friends here talking about movies, and we relate a lot of things to movies. So a lot of things that we relate are like experiences that we had. And I wanted to ask the fellas about a memory they have with a movie and their mom. You know what I mean? So like, I'll go first on this one here. With my mom, my memory of my mom with movies is that when we were younger, she used to take us to do double features all the time. And if you guys don't know what a double feature is, that's when you go in and you pay for one movie and you end up seeing two.
Whoa. Okay. So you gotta explain that the different types of double features. There's the double features that you pay for, and there's the hood double features where you pay for one and you just go into another movie.
That's the one. Infamous for Saturdays to be at the movies all day long. But the main one that I do remember is that like my mom used to take me to see these like rated R movies when I was like maybe like 7, 8 years old, which was awesome. I saw Predator. I remember, for people who follow like Catholic or Roman Catholic religion or faith, I used to follow that faith, and we did our confirmation. And no, it was our first communion. I did my first communion, and usually you do your first communion around like maybe 5, 6, 7 years old and stuff like that. So I did my first communion, and my parents are like, "What do you want?" And I said, I want to see that new Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 movie. And they took me.
Oh, wow.
So
your
like
first communion, great.
Right. But I guess the memory I have of my parents is that I feel like my mom is the one who really got me into movies. I mean, she made it a point to take our escape from, we lived in the Bronx, and it was not. We did all right. It was a nice area, but it was an escape from everything. You know what I mean? It was to go to the movies and go into this new world and see what happens with a predator, with a nightmare person, and all these other crazy things. But like a lot of my good memories with my mom is being taken to the movies. So that's something that I always think about when I think of Mother's Day with my mom. And I think about that first love of movies that came from her. And even to this day, sometimes I try to take her to the movies. Like the last movie I think we saw was Invisible Man.
Yeah.
And I took mom with us to see The Invisible Man, and she was in there losing it. So, so that's something I always think about with my mom. And I'm appreciative of my mom for bringing that love of movies to me, because I know it came from her pretty much. So, and me and Brandon share a mom. So, B-Dog, I'm interested to know what's a movie memory you have with mom.
I have a couple, So mom is hilarious because like even to this day, if there's like a rated R movie on that she's watching, I may be like somewhere else. If she's watching the rated R movie and like they even like hint at like something dirty or like they're talking, even though they're cursing like a lot, I'll walk by and she'll pause the movie. Just and she'll pretend like nothing's going on, like, oh, Brahma, how you doing? Like, just strike up a conversation, and then like I'll go away and she'll hit the play, So like it's notorious with like sex or nudity scenes. Like she is so funny. She'll even skip to the next scene just when I'm passing by as if nothing happened. She's so smooth with it. It's so funny. Even till this day, like I remember last year when before I moved out and I moved into the apartment that I live in now, like I'm almost 30 years old, and till this day she still does it. She was like watching what was that, the Russian movie with the girl who played Mystique. I'm blanking on her name. She played Mystique recently.
Russian. Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. She played
Red Sparrow. Was it Red Sparrow or something
Red Sparrow,
like that?
yeah. So it was getting to the scene where she starts getting nude, and my mom skipped to the next scene. I'm like, Mom, I'm 28 years old. She goes, but I don't know what she's talking about. Played it off watch the movie. So funny. But I think my one of the coolest memories is kind of like hobby. It's really funny how this actually popped up. Is I had an interest when I was like in my teenage years, like to just watch all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies and like all of the Friday the 13th movies. Like I just never really saw them. Like I think I remember seeing the first one and then like the last Nightmare, right? And I never saw anything in between. And and it was I think this was back when Blockbuster was still open, and I was like, oh, you know what I really want to do? Like I really want to just kind of watch all the Nightmare on Elm Street. She's like, all right, let's do it. And I was like, what? She was like, let's watch all of them. I remember we spent a whole Saturday just in her bedroom watching all the Nightmare movies.
Wow. That's awesome.
So that was really cool. And that was something that's really awesome because like she's always number one to want to watch a movie. Like like whether she's interested or not, she's always down to watch. My father is still the same. He loves to watch everything, but he'll fall asleep 10 minutes in.
Papa is a hard worker.
He'll wake up. That was great.
It was fantastic.
It was the best movie I saw this year.
Sanj, man. Besides, I remember one of the podcasts you said Mom was gonna marry Denzel Washington. You were gonna be Sanjay Washington. So.
I'm with it. John David Washington, brothers.
There you go. What's a favorite memory you have of you and your mom with a movie or with movies in like just that topic there?
Well, my mom, she likes to watch a lot of the Bollywood movies. And my dad was more into like the westerns and stuff like that. So there's not a lot of overlap in the in the types of movies that we watch. I'm a lot of sci-fi, obviously a lot of Star Trek and stuff like that. And there's just not a lot of overlap except for Rocky.
Whoa.
She loves her some Rocky movies. And so do I. So if a lot of times, I mean, like I've said this before, me and my mom do not agree on much. However, we agree on Rocky, and we agree on watching Rocky movies. So if she's over and whatnot, we'll throw on a Rocky movie or something like that. And more often than not, there is a Rocky marathon on TV. For some reason, I don't quite understand.
It's on A&E.
So you can just but yeah, it's just like we can sit down and watch a Rocky movie at any time, anywhere, any place. And
man,
so
that's awesome, man. Yeah. Al, man, how about you, man? You and Mom, man. Anything that you remember when you was growing up or something that hit you with movies?
Yeah, and even to this day, my mother's the same thing. My mother will watch a movie. If I say, "Oh, let's watch a movie," she'll be down to watch it. But everybody is hesitant sometimes to watch certain movies with my mother because my mother, she gets into the movie. She's that person that says, "Don't open that door, run!" Like trying to tell the person in the movie what to do as if they can hear her. Like that's my mother. So one of my memories I'm gonna date myself with this, but Rambo 2 had come out in the theaters, and I wanted to go see it.
Yeah.
So I went with Mom to go see it. Now, I had forgotten how she was when she watched the movie. Especially when she watches action movies. Because like I said, she'll tell them what to do, where the person is. Don't go through that door. Kid. So imagine watching Rambo with a person who doesn't realize they're in a crowded movie theater. Like, she was screaming, yelling. I'm like looking around, like trying to get into the next seat. Oh, kid. But it was just, looking back now, it's hysterical. And then
Of course.
especially watching my daughters the same way. Like, my daughter will get into it. So I'm like, okay, great. I'm going through it again with another generation.
That's fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, listen, fellas, I appreciate you guys always like willing to give up some like personal and private information on the podcast. There, it's awesome, and I really appreciate you guys, man. And Sanj, man, we've definitely been missed on the podcast, man. I'm glad to see you back today.
Guys too. I mean, this is the last couple of weeks. I mean, you work in hospitals too, so what it's. And then it's like, I during the week there's literally no time to do anything, and then, keeping the house stocked, and then going to work and traveling back and forth and everything. And it's like, if I can't, it's like, I don't feel that right coming to me, as much as this is fun, like I want to give my best effort as well.
Of course, I'm not prepared, appreciate it.
Yeah, if I'm not prepared, and because I feel like a couple of weeks I wasn't that well prepared, just because I'm tired, and because we had the stuff going on with my uncle, and whatnot, and I just wasn't that well prepared. And then when I watched myself, and I just didn't like my contribution. So I said, if I can't be prepared, I'm gonna wait till I can be prepared, and then bring a effort, because I think you guys
bring it.
I appreciate you guys as well, and I want to bring that A effort, because you guys always bring an A+ effort,
I appreciate you, man. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Glad to have you, man.
Yeah.
And listen, guys, I mean, look, like we said, we did a little short of a podcast this week because we did it on a Tuesday rather than on our normal Sunday. So we're going to cut it off here this week, and we'll be back with our normal rotation on Sundays. And, just like with Mother's Day, we're going to give you guys some more fun stuff on Father's Day. I think Father's Day, what we're going to do is we're going to do some dad jokes. We're going to bring the comedy. We're going to see who can.
I feel like there's a lot more movies centered around like dads and like hilarity,
right? That's what I was thinking too.
Because
so we can talk about that.
For like the mom movies, like hilarity, like Bad Moms. That's about it.
That's it.
And that's it. But other than that, like there's like tons of dads movies like that, like 3 Men, like even classics like 3 Men and a Baby and stuff like that. Which was actually directed by Leonard Nimoy, Spock.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh well.
A little fun fact.
Little
fan review. There you go. But yeah, man, we'll definitely have some good stuff there for Father's Day, man. But again, guys, we want to thank you guys for listening, and again, we apologize for the sound quality. We're doing our best here with the Skype and this social distancing thing and everything. So we appreciate it because the numbers are still going up as far as people are listening and people are watching on YouTube there. So we appreciate that. So if you ever want us to reach us, give us some maybe a question or input on what you want to hear from us, give us a email at therealfanreview@gmail.com, or go to our website, therealfanreview.com. You could also find us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. And guys, we'll see you on the next podcast, and we appreciate everything that you guys do. Signing off from New York, we got my boy Sanj, we got my brother B, and we got our man the chair Al, myself, Hav.
Good night, everybody.
We'll see you on the next one. Have a good night.
Everybody.